What are civil rights? Civil and/or equal rights refer to the rights of every person to equal protection under the law and equal access to society's opportunities. The concept of equality was first identified by Thomas Jefferson, who wrote that all men are created equal. Since then, there have been a countless number of disputes over what equality actually means. The 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868 to better promote equality throughout the nation. This amendment reads that no state shall deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Although the 14th Amendment was designed to require states to treat their residents equally, it took years for that to happen. At first, the Supreme Court interpreted the law to mean separate but equal, which meant that separate facilities for African Americans were okay as long as they were equal. In an effort to move towards a more equal society, the Supreme Court ruled in Brown v. Board of Education that racial segregation of public schools violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. This decision did ban segregation in schools, but it didn't require the states to act immediately due to the locations of schools within segregated neighborhoods. Another big step towards equal rights was the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The first Civil Rights Act worked on eliminating discrimination in public accommodations such as restaurants, hotels, and even in the workplace. This act was created to put an end to discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin in the hiring of employees. The second Civil Rights Act, known as the Civil Rights Act of 1968, further extends the first act by prohibiting discrimination in housing. An owner cannot refuse to sell to someone based on their race, sex, ethnicity, or religion. Despite the legal prohibitions, housing in America still remains highly segregated due to an average lower income of most black families. The Civil Rights Acts of 1964 and 1968 were created to help decrease discrimination in public places. However, this didn't happen immediately. Many employers still preferred one race over the other, which kept many minorities at a disadvantage, and for them it was hard to prove that they weren't being hired due to gender or race. In order to solve these problems, affirmative action programs were produced. Affirmative action is an action or policy favoring those who tend to suffer from discrimination, especially in relation to employment or education. Since its initial introduction by President John F. Kennedy in 1961, affirmative action has caused many disputes. One of the more recent court cases was Fisher v. University of Texas. This case concerned the school's admission program that made race one of its minor factors. In the end, affirmative action was upheld and the school kept its admission system. To this day, many people still struggle with equal rights, but it's something our country continues to improve on. We have come a long way since the passing of the 14th Amendment, the establishment of the Civil Rights Acts, and the introduction of affirmative action programs, but we don't plan on stopping now.
Created using Powtoon.